Yo, what is up, you guys? Thank you guys for chilling with me on this Token with Mojo, where we are token every single day. Today, guys, we're going to be doing a reaction video to Slim Jesus. Now, I did contact Luesta in the background. Hopefully, I'll be throwing like the freaking um, DMs or something like that. I reached out to him on Instagram, was letting him know, hey man, I'm doing reaction videos to your content. And he said, hey, I appreciate the grind, keep on going. So all the videos that I'm going to be reacting to Luesta is going to be down in the links below. So you can go watch his original content and nobody could be like, yo, you stealing from this man. Now, I just did one video, it started to blow up, and I was like, yo, bet Luesta, can I do more freaking content on you? And he was like, yeah, I appreciate the grind. I appreciate you freaking reaching out. So, guys, we're going to be doing a freaking reaction video to Slim Jesus. If you like this freaking content, don't forget to hit that like, comment, and subscribe, people. It's getting up there. Appreciate the growth and everything like that. And hopefully this is a new video after the freaking New Year. So if it is, Happy New Year, people. I hope you guys are freaking accomplishing your goals. I hope you guys are freaking setting new goals and everything like that. Let's be better people on this planet. Now, also another side note, this may be a two-part series. This may be. Yo, what up, editor Mojo here. Unfortunately, part two got corrupted. So, guys, if you do want to see part two, I can reshoot part two, but I gotta see those likes. Hit those likes, hit those comments, get the freaking views up, and I will freaking reshoot a part two. Alright, let's get back to the video. Two-part episode, just so, like, I'm not sitting there for 45 minutes, and you guys are like, oh my god, you know what I mean? So, let's get into this reaction video, man.
Credentials and guns as props? Well, if you were around in 2015, you'll remember the moment that Slim Jesus arrived on the scene. Video after video, he was going viral on WorldStar at will, and he was even courted by major labels, as they truly believed that he could be right alongside Chief Keef and G Herbo as one of drill music's biggest stars. But as it turned out, he bit off more than he can chew, and after one fateful YouTube upload, everything that he had built began to crumble into pieces, and soon he was being chased off stage and laughed at by the entire culture. Raised by a single mother, Slim Jesus lived. Pretty much, I think too. Like, I get it. You want to be a fake rapper, and let's be honest. That tattoo right there, that's a skateboard brand tattoo. Like, that's in the skateboard crowd. Like, when it comes down to being a rapper, I'm not gonna say for myself. I'm not even gonna say, oh man, I go hard. I go hard. No, I'm your average Joe. I'm just your average fucking Joe. I'm not gonna say I'm a gangster. I'm not gonna say I go hard. I'm not gonna say I got bodies underneath me. Fuck all that shit. Cause then you got real motherfuckers that are looking at you. Then you got real people that are cops and shit like that that are looking at you. And that's what happened to this motherfucker right here. He was like boasting about that you got bodies and shit like that, and then when a real motherfucker asks you, hey, how'd you get that body? They can tell a fucking fake ass story from a real ass story, man. A pretty ordinary life in Hamilton, Ohio before he'd reach worldwide fame. A longtime lover of hip-hop, Slim's music career began while he was working at a grocery store. In between shifts stacking shelves, Slim, real name Robert Church, began uploading music to SoundCloud and YouTube. At some point, he must have had second thoughts because these tracks would eventually be deleted. But when he returned, Slim had struck gold in the most unexpected of ways. As an avid fan of rap, Slim was up on the new wave of drill, making its way over from Chicago, and to him, it only seemed natural to make some himself.
That's just like, that's a lot of what I listen to, and I'm influenced. I'm no way trying to steal their thing. Like, I'll give credit to Chicago. They created the drill movement. I listen to a lot of Chicago rappers, and that's just what I'm influenced by.
But in a decision that worked in the short term but would go on to ruin him, Slim didn't put his own spin on drill. Instead, he emulated everything he saw, from the gun-toting imagery to the tales of hunting down ops in his lyrics. Armed with a Cocky Beats production, Slim created the song Drill Time, and within days of its release, he'd shook the world. You can find me posted up on Frank Block with my fucking gang. You ain't really bout shit. Whether it was the music itself or the shock value of seeing the skinny white dude.
See, here's the thing about that. People are really about that life. People are really, excuse me, people are really about that life. So if you say I'm posted up on my block and you got millions of viewers, maybe like 10 of those people are going to pull up on that block to actually see if you posted up. People are really about that life, man. Like if you say that you go hard and shit like that. Like I was recently in a fucking Discord chat, and I was telling these guys about my life and shit like that, and they a couple of them actually went on my Instagram and my YouTube, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I see that you still have content coming out. I see that you still have freaking views coming up and shit like that. Like you are not a fake individual," and that's where it comes in. There are people out there that really gonna see if you're a fake ass individual, because scams, shit like that. I mean, dude, you got a fake person coming into the hood saying that they got bodies and shit like that. Yeah, you gonna have people looking at you. You gonna have people looking at you. Best believe, I don't really want those people looking at me, because I mean that shit's just dangerous. As far as watching my videos, hey, shout out to all you mugs, man. I hope y'all on the grind. Happy New Year. Set your goals high. Be a better person. Let's get it. Get those goals up there, boy. Be better people and all that kind of stuff. Spread the love, spread the joy of the world. That's all I'm saying. Let's get it.
That created the track. It didn't take long for the World Star video to become a must-see event. Straight away, people couldn't decide whether they loved or hated it. Talking like he was the Grim Reaper of an area that he referred to on the track as Frank Block, everyone was fascinated by it. Soon, he was being interviewed by outlets like Complex to discuss the overnight success of Drill Time. It got like 4,000 in one day, and that was crazy to me already. And now it has like hundreds of thousands. Today, it sits at over 62 million views on YouTube, which is astonishing for someone that was literally a nobody days before it dropped. Slim was the odd man out in drill, and in an era before 6ix9ine, Lil Mabu, Stitches, and other rappers who make a living off falsifying hood backgrounds, this was hard for hip-hop fans to process. Unsurprisingly, a lot of people just straight up clowned him, saying things like, if Slim Jesus walked in and slapped my girl's ass, you better know I'ma stay looking at my feet. His ass looked like a grown Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle. For others, it was his resemblance to Mr. Marshall Mathers that was the most fascinating, with some people even speculating about whether or not he was Slim Shady's illegitimate child from a tour stop in Ohio, or claiming Slim was his retarded brother Skittles. To his credit, Slim knew that he wasn't in Shady's league and tried to downplay any
straight up. I think if Eminem had his son and he wanted to be in the industry, he would not turn out to be like freaking Will Smith's kid. Like, that motherfucker's crazy, man. What the fuck? I can't even say anything about Will Smith because I'll be looking at documentaries and shit like that. That man was once my freaking mentor, like my role model, and now I'm looking at it like, all right, so the values and the morals that he put out into the world, I can see that I want to freaking go by. But as far as the person, nah. That's kind of how I see it. So, yeah, like this dude, like I think if Eminem was truly his father, he would not turn out the way that he did and shit like that. But this guy looks just like Eminem. But if you really think about it, a lot of white boys look like Eminem. I mean, Eminem even made the fucking video about how there are a bunch of little white clones about him. Like, they're going around him. So, what?
Any of those comparisons.
The Eminem comparison is literally just because we're white. We don't make the same kind of music. I don't like rap the same. People stay talking about, man, has Eminem tweeted you yet? No, and that shit probably won't happen because we're on completely different bars. I'm not lyrical, I'm ignorant.
Considering he was the white guy doing drill music, it's no surprise that some artists saw him as a culture vulture, and soon after he had put the track out, another rapper from Chicago by the name of Lil Mouse jacked the song's beat to diss Slim Jesus for all of his tough talk.
Hold up, real quick, why don't we have a separation between real thug, real street rappers and actors? I mean, come on, man, like, that's what Hollywood is. That's what movies is. That's what all this freaking shit is. It's just entertainment. So if you have an individual that studies the game, studies how to act, how to do the algorithm, everything like that. Like, we literally have rappers that are studying the algorithm and trying to figure out what their fans want. So why don't we just bring those two cultures together instead of trying to be like, oh, they fake? Yeah, just say that you are. Just say that, yo, I didn't really come from the streets, and I'm an actor. Boom, there you go. Then you got real freaking people that are from the streets and shit like that. There's got to be a difference. There's got to be a divide. You can't have somebody that comes from freaking acting school and freaking modern art school and shit like that and try to say that they come from the streets. You just can't have that. But if they were in a movie, if they were acting, they could say that. You got to think about it. It's all entertainment at the end of the day. Yeah, these people live these lives and shit like that, but you are freaking rapping. You are doing all of this stuff to entertain all of your fans. So try to have a difference. Try to have a divide. Try to be like, yo, you know, I don't know what to really say about that. Just it, like, if you could put like a blue check on everyone that's fake, and then you had like a red check, or I don't even want to say blue. I don't even want to say blue and red. Just if you could figure out who's real and who's not, and then you just be like, yo, I'm an actor. All right, bet. You're making good content.
These days, niggas characters finna shoot a movie, put them in a scene. You did a song with niggas from here, but real talk, they ain't no shit.
Throughout this video, a recurring theme is real deal gangster rappers questioning Slim Jesus' authenticity. Because Slim was getting so much publicity at the time, it's not exactly shocking that dissing him gave Lil Mouse one of the most viewed tracks of his career. But according to Mouse, it wasn't meant to be for publicity. It was just letting Slim know that he can't play with gangsters and expect to get away with it.
This, it just me stating facts, like, letting you know, like, that ain't something that we honor. Like, we don't joke about that. Like, we done lost homies over that shit, so it just letting you know I'm stating facts.
Although some Chicago drill artists thought it was disrespectful, it wasn't all hate coming Slim Jesus' way. Unexpectedly, some real drill artists came forward to co-sign him, such as Lil Bibby, who said, "What they on with you, Slim? Why they dissing my youngin'?" in response to people dissing him. While outside of Chicago, superstar
like
DJ Diplo gave the rapper his seal of approval too, declaring that he was just at home with friends listening to Slim Jesus. As for the game, his stance was a little different. He was just concerned that if Slim was capping, then it might lead to some serious problems in his future. I think that Slim Jesus either really be fucking killing, or he's gonna get his ass smoked. I worry about kids these days rapping about things they're not really about. Sometimes I think it's sad because lives can be lost while playing those games. Be careful, Slim Jesus. At this point, Slim was playing his hand perfectly. He made a diss track back to Lil Mouse, claiming he had bigger fish to fry.
Who the fuck is Lil Mouse, man? I got bigger fish to fry.
Instead of making himself really visible and exposing himself as a suburban kid, he safeguarded his mystique and kept people wondering, was Slim Jesus really active like that? But this facade couldn't be kept up forever. And the first sign of his slipping came when he invited real drill rappers into his hood for the remix.
Shit got a red dot with a ruler.
Okay, so real quick, why don't we just have a disclaimer for all these artists? Like, we're gonna get to a point in society in the future where this killing shit is not gonna fly on the radio, it's not gonna fly on the airwaves. But if you had a disclaimer that was like right there on the bottom of the screen, like, you know, just like what freaking YouTubers do and all this kind of shit. Hey, I'm not really about that life. Hey, I'm doing this for acting purposes. I'm doing this for the culture purposes. I'm doing this to bring content and elevate the content that is in this genre of music. But at the end of the day, I'm not really capping motherfuckers. I'm not really beating the shit out of motherfuckers. I'm really focusing on giving you guys the best content I can. Little disclaimer, somebody somewhere could figure out how to freaking word that shit to the point where it's like freaking 2-3 sentences. Everybody understands that shit, and then everybody's like, all right, bet. You're not a thug, you just an actor. You're just here to make content. You're here to elevate. You're here to take the music that was here 5 years ago and make it 10 times better than what it was. You're here to learn from the artists that are in the past and elevate that shit and bring together something that's even more. Take freaking music like that, throw it into colleges and shit like that, and be like, make it better, make it more, all that kind of shit. And just give them, I would say, give them like weed, drugs and shit like that, and be like, look, come up with something respectable. Like, something could happen. Something could happen, bro. I think we just need a disclaimer. And I think rappers need a disclaimer too. Like, come on. You guys are starting to get caught up with crimes, all that kind of shit. Little disclaimer. I'm not all about that life. I'm just rapping about the content, everything like that that's in the genre. So then, when you rap about capping motherfuckers, doing this, doing that, they can't come back and be like, oh, here's the evidence. They're like, nah, he has a disclaimer. He did not do that. Legally, this was not him. Now, if they find you and you did it, it's on you. But if you're rapping about this stuff and then you just go home and then you just edit these videos and just mind your own fucking business, hey man, you're playing an actor. You're playing a freaking character that does all this shit for the content. But at the same time, the content that we're putting out is not good. Let's be honest, people. We're on the fringes of society right now. Some of us are lucky to live in the certain places that we are because people are just fucking up, dude. People are just like, fuck this, fuck y'all, and I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. And one of these days, man, the hammer's gonna come down. I'm playing freaking Miles Morales right now, man, and it's gonna be like one of those hammers, man, where it's not gonna be the police. It's gonna be a private company that can pay the government enough money to say, hey, we're gonna set up a police force. We're gonna fucking do this shit, and there's nothing you could say about it. And when that day comes, people are gonna be pissed. There's gonna be a lot of racial shit going on, but we all gonna be looking back at everything that we've been dealing with so far, and we gonna be like, y'all need to cool it, man. We living in the best of times right now. I mean, not in Israel and all that shit, but dude, we got technology. Like, I could look up how to freaking make any meal right now on my phone. Calm down, people. Like, we can get things shipped to our places like that. Never in human history have we been at this point in society where you could live in an area, and as long as the people aren't shitty, then you have all different cultures living in the same area, not bothering each other, and just living in peace. And dude, people are just acting like they just don't know how to handle it, man. Come on. We're going, by this time, I probably in the 2024, I think. Yeah, 2024. And dude, let's just calm down. Weed's being legal everywhere. Freaking, you could go get shrooms wherever the fuck you want. All this and that, man. Calm down. Calm down, chill out, relax, work on yourself, work on your family, work on your life. Let's get back into this reaction.
Clip that's 30 shots, show medulla, bitch. I'll be flexing hard.
While Lil Mouse was busy dissing him, other rappers in the Chicago drill music scene, such as King Yella, P. Rico, and Killa Kells, saw a potential bag appearing alongside Slim for a new version of Drill Time, which debuted on Worldstar's YouTube channel. But when they got to Frank Block, that's when King Yella, a well-known Chicago drill rapper, first realized that Slim.
Yo, shout out to Daily High Club if you want to know more about freaking smoking products and stuff like that. The freaking sampler box, the freaking boxes from Daily High Club. Ah, that was my banger. Ah, I broke my banger. Ah, looks like I gotta get a new banger, but that was not the one I used, so I'm not too concerned about that. That's not the one I use, or is it? That's not the one I use. But yeah, if you want to get a freaking box or anything like that, freaking go to Daily High Club. Well, freaking hit up my channel. I got the freaking links down below so you can save money. And I'm also doing freaking daily, I'm doing reviews on the boxes. So, check out that shit. And freaking fan also hit me up. It was like, yo, do a subscription box versus subscription box. So, that's going to be coming in the future. Whoo, boy. Best believe we're going to be at part 2. Let's get back into it.
Slim wasn't the person he portrayed himself as in his rhymes.
It was not real at all. Everything, it was not real. So we had to figure like, we didn't want to shoot right here. It wasn't real. Like, how the fuck, I don't know how y'all finessed the camera to make it look like this was a real hood. Wasn't nothing going on.
Rather than expose him, King Yella kept the secret to himself, cause by associating with him, he got a pretty big publicity boost. And soon, he wasn't the only drill rapper to use Slim like this, even if they denied it. 4 days after the remix to Drill Time dropped on Worldstar, Slim was still seen as such a hot commodity in the drill world that he was flown out to Chief Keef's album launch party. Despite being pictured together, Keef denied co-signing and acted like he was just another fan who came by. Clearly, Keef wanted to prove that he wasn't putting Slim on, cause despite the huge number of views Drill Time generated, showing there was a financial benefit to collaborating with him.
So, real quick, this is the stupidest thing that you could do. This is how people get robbed. As I'm learning about money in America and shit like that, and just, you know, this is the stupidest thing that you could do. I bet you this dude got robbed or something like that, and this is because people see that and they see that you're a target. I'm broke. I'm your average American citizen, all that kind of shit. Pay bills, pay taxes, all that kind of shit. I just run my own YouTube channel. Just passion project. When people do this shit, one, the IRS is looking at you, and two, people that are looking for a score are looking at you too. This is the stupidest thing that you can do, and I'm so glad that people are starting to come out and be like, yo, stop flexing. If you want to flex, buy your mom dinner. Buy your girl dinner. Make sure your bills are paid. Make sure your life is good. If something happens, like, say, for instance, freaking tree limb hits your car, make sure you are just looking at that shit and being like, fuck that shit, man. You don't even roll up a blunt and just deal with that shit. That is true wealth in America. This right here, this is not true wealth. This is you just being broke and just being like, look what I got. How long did that money last you? A week? 2 days? A night? Come on. Learn more about money in America. If you want to learn more about that kind of shit, if you want me to do a video about that kind of shit, where I'm just teaching you a bare minimum, no scams, no nothing, no bullshit, just a bare minimum, just to get you on a good, right, beaten path, hit that like, let me know. Let's get back into this video.
The streets wouldn't have it when there was still debate over if Slim was really about that life. But even with Sosa acting like he had nothing to do with it, academics told another story.
Come on, bruh. You brought him out to your show. He probably didn't ask to come out to your show. You brought him out, right? You had him backstage. If you really didn't fuck with him, don't try to use him for his buzz. What probably was gonna happen, and I'm not saying Chief Keef probably set this up, maybe his record label, they probably brought dude out because if Slim Jesus did his first performance at a Chief Keef release party concert, it would make national news, right?
Looking back, this really shows how much of a big deal Slim was at the time. Chief Keef was the man that brought drill music to the mainstream with tracks like Don't Like and Love Sosa. But in 2015, his label thought that he could use the help of a scrawny kid from Ohio. It's almost insulting looking back at it. At the time, labels clearly saw Slim as a gateway for drill to reach white suburban kids. Adam22 once pointed out that there was a brief moment where it looked like working with Slim could boost the profiles of rappers from the trenches.
I think, seriously, they were going somewhere with this. But everybody was so hard on that he's got to be about that life. He's got to be about that life. He could have just came, like, I mean, eventually we're going to get to the point where he does come out and say that he was just acting. But you got to put it into the culture. You got to put it into the culture where you got to put it and be like, people, I'm not about that life. I'm just rapping because you guys enjoy my music. Like, I could go and be a fucking country singer and they would love my music and I'd be a country motherfucker. But you guys love it when I rap about this shit. So I'm gonna rap about this shit and y'all gonna eat it up. That's what rappers do. That's what the whole game is. That's what the whole music industry is, dude. So, I mean, for Slim Jesus to be like rapping, singing, this is just proven to all you guys that are fans. Bro, you absorbing this stuff. You all about that life. You want this shit. If Slim Jesus started making music about how he was rapping and chilling with his buddies and just trying to get that girl that he wanted and shit like that, and y'all blew that shit up, he would make more music about that shit. People would make more music about that shit. They would be like, okay, people don't want to hear about me killing people. They want to hear about chilling, laying back, making sure that they're good, making sure that their homie is good, making sure that they're good in life. You know, I mean, there are rappers out there that freaking rap about that shit. Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z, freaking Kid Cudi, freaking Kanye West. Yeah, they got all types of music, but they still rap about mental shit, mellow shit, being cool, working on your goals and stuff like that. And I think that people just need to get away from thugging, killing. The rappers even say this shit will kill you. Don't do that. Don't go down that route.
It was a stimulus package. Slim Jesus stimulus package.
Yeah,
it was for a little while. I mean, a lot of people kind of got whatever
suburbia.
they needed to get out of that situation. Sure.
But this isn't a level of respect or consideration that Slim would have time to get used to, because in the space of one interview, everything would change. As I said earlier, Slim Jesus did a really good job of maintaining an air of mystery during the initial frenzy over drill time. However, he was about to slip up and do irreparable damage to his earning potential in the future. On September 30th, 2015, Slim Jesus appeared on Vlad TV for his first major on-camera interview. When asked about his gang ties by Vlad, Slim lifted the lid on his whole persona, revealing that he was basically just a fan mimicking the music he loved, rather than the gangster kingpin of Hamilton that he portrayed himself as.
For the most part on the street shit, like, I mean, I know people and I've been, you know, in some situations, but I'm not like out here fucking killing people.
Do you have a criminal record at all?
Nah, I'm straight.
While most rappers would have tried to keep their image intact at all costs.
See, this is where he should have worded that right. He should have had somebody, like a team or somebody, like, even if I ran my own, like, podcast, I do the research into the questions about the individual and all this kind of shit, so they don't look stupid or something like that. And this is where this motherfucker looks stupid, is where they asked him the question, and he was like, nah, I'm not all about that shit. He should have been like, look, I'm a fan, I enjoy the rap scene, I enjoy the culture, I enjoy the vibe and all this shit, and I wanted to get into the culture respectfully. I wanted to get into all of this shit. And then they could be like, well, do you really got bodies? Unfortunately, I do not have bodies. That's what we rap about in the culture. And he could have really, like, freaking, he could have blown the lid on a lot of other rappers. He could have worded it properly and been like, do you really think that all of these rappers got bodies underneath them? If every rapper had bodies underneath them, every rapper would be in jail right now. Or, like, you know, something like that. You know, every rapper would be hung up, like, by the federal government. Let's be honest, if the federal government came after everybody that had a body underneath them, whoo, we'd have a state, I mean, specifically for jail, and everybody that had a body underneath them would be in there. So, let's just say legal system, hey, it is what it is, all that kind of shit. But it's not cool to rap about that shit. It's not. I'm sorry. I'm high as fuck right now. I'm high as fuck right now. But that's his downfall, is that he didn't word that shit right. He just didn't do the research, didn't think about it, the situation, like, didn't respect anything that he said or anything like that. And just said, like, nah, I'm not out here getting bodies and shit. Like, I'm not all about that shit. Like, nah, dude, just say, like, no, man, the culture is all about that shit, and I have to rap about that shit. I have to put that shit in my music. I'm trying to get away from that shit. He could have really been a pivotal point where the culture could have thought it to themselves and been like, yo, really? Yo, but, hey, everybody looked at him and they were like, fuck Slim Jesus.
Slim tossed this aside in a way that hip-hop hadn't seen before. As back when other rappers had been exposed for faking a hood image in the past, like Rick Ross's cosplay as a drug mogul, they normally still defended the lies. Instead, Slim fessed up, and in doing so, got the respect of some of the audience who heard enough fakery. This dude did what rappers should do. I'm not a killer, I'm a rapper. He's real about being fake. I gotta give him his props. He's a genius.
Alright, guys, so real quick, like I said, we're gonna be doing part 2. Part 2, so you guys don't watch like a fucking long ass video or shit like that. Excuse me. So, if you guys are liking this kind of content, please don't forget to hit that like, comment, and subscribe, people. We're gonna get ready to do part 2. So just hit that like, comment, subscribe. Let the algorithm know. Be like, yo, I'm liking this kind of shit. I'm liking this dude. Now, we're gonna freaking close out this one. Get ready to start the second one. And I'll see you guys in part 2.